Wahine Māori are 3.35 times more likely to die by suicide. Suicide is the leading cause of maternal death in Aotearoa. I'm a single mama of 3 tamariki, and I've been through my fair share of trials and tribulations, but I know that I'm not alone.
It's hard to be aware of the ever-present threat against our worlds and the worlds of our mokopuna.
It's really striking that we're in 2024 today to hear those statistics, and what gets me is it's so preventable.
To return back to Moananui te pō is to take a life, not only yours, but the life of your pepe.
Who's in your community, who's in your whare, who's with you is really important to how we walk in this world.
My particular area of focus is the doctrine of discovery as the driver of colonisation. The policies that dropped out of that process are all ones that privilege European supremacy. Creating the science that is the basis of our current health science. That science went along the lines of measuring Indigenous brains and skulls to prove that we were less intelligent. That science included how long you can whip a black man for and still keep him alive. That's the early science that creates the basis of our current health science.
Colonisation was and is the mechanism by which our people have been dispossessed, oppressed, suppressed from ourselves, our cultural capacities, our ability to live freely as Māori.
Today, if you look at the health outcomes for Māori today, you can see that Māori are more likely to be refused pain relief in our health system because of this racist medical myth that we don't really need pain relief. Today, you see that Māori mamas will lose more blood on the birthing table than non-Māori mamas before they take action, and we are therefore more likely to die from blood loss.
I think the state of our health in general for us as Māori, we're disconnected from our whenua, we're disconnected from our culture. The health system doesn't reflect us in any way, so we have to put ourselves aside every time to be able to fit into a system that is not culturally safe for us. There is a huge need for an approach to come from a te ao Māori perspective, as well as we need somebody that looks like us, that sounds like us, and that understands us.
I became a single mama when my youngest was 5 weeks old. My 2 older ones were 2 and 1, so I had 3 under 3 on my own. And I remember thinking to myself, how on earth am I going to get through this?
For a long time now, one of the highest causes of maternal death for Māori is suicide. Maternal death. So that's our young mamas taking their own lives while they're still hapu.
That's actually heartbreaking, man. That's real heartbreaking. That's yeah. Sorry. That makes me so sad. I know what it's like to be in that space. I plunged into some really dark spaces that I didn't actually know if I would get out of. There were moments where I couldn't pull myself up off the floor.
It's hard to think about all of the wahine, all of the sacrifice, all of the lives taken, knowing that that is the intent of the system that is still in place now. And to not grieve for all of them that have gone before us.
When I got pregnant, I got really unwell. I didn't have a rebuilt support network yet. I didn't really have anyone around me. I didn't have a midwife. To actually get support, you not only had to tell them that you wanted to die, but when you wanted to die. So that was really confronting in itself, to admit that you were in a really, really dark place. And I also understand how, for a lot of mama, you wouldn't want to admit that because there'd also be the fear that you'll lose you'll have your baby taken away from you. And I remember messaging a few people in the middle of the night and just being like, can someone come get me? And at the same time, none of those people being available or coming. So just feeling really isolated and alone.
Hene nui te pō has many consciousness. Te pō nui, te pō roa, te pō uri, te pō tango, te pō kere. And in those different pō are the depression states of being of the mama. And so to take you into a state of that being and being with her, people would say it's an act of selfishness, but it's because there is no space, place and time in this ao that really looks after those who whakamomori.
It took everything for me to come back to myself. It took everything. I'm now taking comfort in the dark. I'm now taking a step back and going, man, that really built my character. But now I can look back on that and be like, shit, I got through that. Wahine Māori are the creators, the deliverers, and are the continuers of whakapapa Māori. We must do more in all spaces to ensure our wahine Māori, Māmā Māori, do not ever feel alone.
Once we've completed our mahi for our mamas at a hapu, they glow. So that glow that they have on them is called Rangatira, and it's amazing, it's beautiful. There was this wahine that was walking past and I looked down and I go, oh, I said, oh, nā wai tērā pepe roti te kopu o te mama, and the person that was sitting next to me, he said, you know, this person, and I went, oh, really, well, that pepe is beautiful. And then he said, can you see the baby from me? Can you see baby from me? Oh, I can see baby from you.
As hapu mama, there's a tapu associated to you that is about your connection to your whakapapa and you providing another layer of whakapapa. There is an atua, especially there for you.
Our wānanga that our whānau come to is the wānanga of Te Maiōrewa. And Te Maiōrewa is from hene nui te pō, hene titama, and hene te iwa. Koe nā o nā hene hai manake hai tautoko e nā wahine e hapu ana. And through that, they are able to see that the mother is a beautiful human being, like a goddess.
We'd constantly reiterate to her that she is sacred, that she has a special place in our community and our society. It was a beautiful time of our process of bringing children into our world. And it was connected to Taia.
So our main goal is to revive the awa, the puhinui, just prepare it for our future generations to come.
We don't cut the cord. You leave the whenua attached to the baby.
Because it's part of baby, I saw no reason to cut it and to just let it fall off naturally.
For it to come out and then we just cut it, it's actually the beginning of the whole traumatic essence that we go through.
In our traditional practices, we have rehua, and rehua is the one that the atua that looks after all of rongoa, and whenua kura is rongoa, i te tuatai. That paupau and the puiho needs to complete.
What I want to focus on is intergenerational healing rather than the words we always get shared, which is intergenerational trauma. We get that, we know that, we're going this way now. It's all about the healing and it's about that mana motuhake.
From a mental health perspective, just feeling like you're being listened to.
I think it saved me, taking my mana motuhake back. It really saved me. I feel like it's made me who I am.
I think, yeah, I really do think the way that we do as Māori is what keeps us well.
We need to be comfortable being unapologetically who we are. We should not have to be afraid or have any kind of fear within us to live out who we see ourselves to be in the present day, moving forward into the future.
But it's like a really beautiful pain. Yes, it's painful, like let's not sugarcoat it, labour's hard.
I heard a wahine in here this morning talk about this was her first time on a marae. Many whānau speak of only ever attending marae for tangi, so how beautiful to flip that. This was a kaupapa that started from really humble beginnings and has grown over the past 6 years.
From our first wānanga to the one we're running today, there's been significant changes. And what I've learned through that journey is the tikanga side of things is foundational to everything. We've got para, or the offcuts.
I think that's one of the things that makes hapu wānanga ki taranaki so beautiful, is that it's really whānau led. I've got my mum working in the kitchen with my auntie. It's a beautiful space for our babies and our tamariki to be. And so I guess I just think about those whānau that don't make it through the front doors, particularly to our rural communities, particularly supporting our whānau with disabilities, and how can we best reach them.
It's bringing birth back to marae, it's bringing healing back to marae. It's helping us all rise together and understand what has been taken from us so that collectively we can have mana motuhake moving forward. From that point on, never again will they be told how to birth, because they will then be raising their own with an understanding of this is our mana motuhake and this is how we birth in our whānau.
We need to go back to pā life. So going back to nani, koro, aunties, uncles, our papa kāinga, getting our whānau on their whenua. It takes a village, and literally it does, and it should. It shouldn't just be about a mama raising tamariki on her own. So I need to take my own advice there too, and look at ways to open up the doors to a more wider village. For me anyway, it's time to go back to that.
As you journey through haputanga and birth and becoming a new mama, those moments are precious and you can't get that time back. So we encourage a lot of the whānau that come through hapu wānanga To start that process, who are their key people? We talk about their building their kāinga.
I love going home back to baby. We're more connected than ever, I feel like. We both like each other now. Before we're like enemies. She only wanted me for a tit.
I think the concept of a village raising a child is well and truly within our whānau. She's just mama.
We are amazing. Wahine who birth and give life and look after tamariki are like next level superheroes in my eyes. And I just want to encourage all of our mothers, our mama, to really go back into yourself, find that strength within you. This is only temporary. All the hardship is only temporary.